Good morning, Year 5. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to today's English lesson. Today we're going to be focusing in on our character. It's going to be the main character of our new story. I wonder if you can tell me who our main character is. Who's the main character of our story? Okay, hopefully you are telling me it is Alice from Alice in Wonderland, of course. Okay, so we're going to be focusing in on this character for a couple of days now, and we're going to have a go at writing a mini character description all about Alice based off what we already know about her from the story so far. Because based off yesterday with all of your great mind maps, okay, we saw that we already know lots and lots about Alice. Today we're going to be collecting some more adjectives and phrases that describe both her appearance and her personality. And we're going to do this so that we can create our character map, which I'm going to show you in a moment. But before we start, I just want you to rewind your brains back to yesterday. What do we already know about Alice? What type of person is she? What adjectives did we use to describe her yesterday? Have a little think at home. Okay, so yesterday we did a really good job at looking into Alice's personality a little bit more. Okay, so we recognised that she's quite intelligent. She knew lots of facts and she was quite logical as well. We also recognised that she was very curious, so she wanted to follow the rabbit. She wanted to go down the hole. She wanted to get into the garden. She's very brave. When she was falling down the hole, she wasn't really thinking about how scared she was. Okay, she was thinking about everything that was around her and kind of what was happening, which kind of tells us she's not really very scared. Okay, she's quite brave. Very polite. So when she met the dodo and the lorry and the mouse, okay, she had that interaction. She was quite polite with the way that she spoke to them. She didn't want to interrupt them. She didn't want to offend them either, did she? Okay, so she's quite a polite little girl. And we also think that she might be quite a kind little girl. Okay, again, with those interactions with the animals that she's met so far, okay, we think that she's quite kind. She doesn't want to upset them. And she gave them her sweets as well, didn't she? Her comfits as prizes as well. So she was quite generous. Okay, so we've kind of looked a little bit already into Alice's personality and her character. Okay, just kind of quite big word coming up. I'd say multifaceted, and what I mean by that is she's got lots of kind of different aspects to her personality, which make her quite an interesting character. What we're going to do today then is we're going to imagine a scenario. Not a scenario, but we're going to imagine a situation, and we are going to imagine that we are White Rabbit. So everyone now, you have to imagine at home that you are this guy here, White Rabbit. So you've got your big long floppy ears, you've got your clipped-in nose, you've got your waistcoat on, and you've got your stopwatch, your pocket watch as well. Okay, you are White Rabbit and you are meeting Alice for the first time. So it might be that Alice is in the Hall of Doors. If we remember, she was in that great big hall with all of the doors surrounding her, and you might be watching her through one of the keyholes, okay? You're seeing this girl. What do you think of Alice and why? Have a little think at home. What's your first impression of Alice and why? Have a little think at home. Okay. So if you were the White Rabbit then, what would you think about Alice? Well, maybe it might be quite strange for you to see a little girl, because in this Wonderland, okay, we've already kind of got the impression that people and things are a bit different. So animals are kind of maybe more in charge in Wonderland. Do we even have people? We haven't seen any other people yet. So White Rabbit might be quite surprised to see a little girl down in Wonderland, because that might be something quite unusual to what is usually seen in Wonderland. Okay, so just bear that in mind when you're thinking about kind of the White Rabbit, because we are going to be writing from the White Rabbit's perspective, seeing Alice for that first time. Okay, bear in mind that to see a little girl down in Wonderland might be quite strange for the White Rabbit. Okay, it's quite a new experience. She might look quite kind of normal to us. Okay, she's just a little girl, but to the rabbit, she might look a little bit curious, a little bit queer, a little bit strange. Okay, thinking about all that vocabulary that we looked at yesterday and last week. So what we're going to have a go at doing today then is we're going to have a go at creating a character map to help us describe Alice. Now, this is inspired by a book called, let me just grab it, and we'll use this more when we're back in school together as well. It'll be a little bit easier when we're all together. It is called a descriptionary, and this is kind of similar to a descriptosaurus, but it's all about characters. And within the book, there are lots of different characters, and the characters are kind of divided. Let's show you. Here we got the brute, and the characters are kind of split up with lines. Okay, and those lines divide up the parts of their body, okay, and then they split them up so that you can describe each part of their body. Okay, so it really allows you to delve in deeper into that character and to really think about what makes up that character. What can we see? What are they doing with those different body parts? Okay, what figurative language can we use to describe each part of their body? So we're just going to have a look at a little example here then. So this one is a ballerina. I'm just going to make her a bit bigger so you can read it and make myself a little bit smaller so I'm not in the way. Okay, so we can see here our ballerina has been split up into all of her different parts. We can see the lines going across, and in each kind of part, some language has been used to describe what you can see in each part. So for example here, we can see her hair, and it has been described as fiery flowing hair, a wave of auburn, a flash of ginger. She's got a fluffy bubble that's baby pink. She's got a sweeping fringe. Okay, so there's lots and lots of words and phrases here that describe just her hair. Then if you move down a strip, you can see this one is on her eyes. And here we've used some phrases to describe her eyes. So fluttering lashes, eyes like saucers, an ocean in her eyes. So again, we've got some figurative language there. We've got a metaphor. Okay, as we move further down, so for example here, we also actually have kind of some verbs being used and some kind of action adjectives being used, so action words, sorry. So for example, at her feet says she's balanced on her tiptoes, every step is precise and exact, she uses perfect precision. Okay, so we're not just describing necessarily what her feet look like in terms of appearance, but also what she's doing with her feet as well. Okay, so our whole character map is giving us a really, really good idea of exactly what this person looks like, okay, but also kind of their behavior and how they are acting, okay, their mannerisms, their body language as well. Up here, we've also got some personality profile, so a little bit about adjectives that describe this person and also verbs, so what might this person be doing. Okay, so this is a personality map, and we are going to have a go at creating one of these today. So we're going to have a go at creating one for Alice. And here you can see I have made one for you with the picture of Alice in the middle. Now, the first thing we're going to look at to create our personality profile is we're going to look at, to complete our map, is to complete our personality profile. So we're just starting to fill in those bits of information that we already have. So in order to do this, we're going to think about the adjectives that describe Alice and also the verbs to describe what Alice might be doing. Okay, so first, I want you to have a little thing. Let's just go back to this one here, because sometimes we get a little bit confused. Capital. Okay, so what is an adjective? And what do we mean by that word, an adjective? Okay, so hopefully you are telling me an adjective is a single word that describes a noun. For example, curious is an adjective because you could say the curious girl. So an adjective is, we're quite familiar with adjectives. They are the words that we use to describe Alice's personality yesterday. So for example, I might write in my adjectives box here, this sheet will be on Pasto's story. So it will probably go on with the timetable. So if you look on the timetable, look on underneath the timetable. If you scroll down, you'll be able to access this. If you cannot, for whatever reason, print it off, then you can just draw your own. Okay, so thinking about the personality profile of Alice, well, I'm thinking about what adjectives I want to describe her personality. So I might say she's quite intelligent. I might say that she is curious. We know she's very curious. Quite respectful of the animals. What else could I use? Maybe I could say that she was, I could use an even better word than brave. I like that one, lion-hearted. Okay, she's not scared of anything. Okay, so you can see I'm starting to think of some adjectives that describe Alice's personality. Okay, can you pause the video now then and have a go at coming up with some of your own adjectives on those lines there that describe what Alice is like as a person. Remember that you are using describing words at the minute because these are adjectives. Wonderful. Fab. Right, what we're going to have a go at doing now then is writing some verbs about what Alice might be doing. So we're imagining then that we are the White Rabbit and we can see Alice in the hall of doors. Now Alice doesn't know that we're there, so we're just going to be watching her. So we're thinking about what Alice might be doing. So I think maybe she might be wandering around the room. Maybe she is peering through the keyholes. Maybe she is reaching for the key. Okay, so I'm using some verbs now to describe what Alice might be doing. Maybe she might be, I was going to say tiptoeing, but I don't think she's really tiptoeing. What might she be doing? If she's quite confident, she might be striding around the room. Okay, so she's looking for a way to get out. Maybe she might be pondering. She's quite intelligent, so she's probably going to be thinking of a way to get out, pondering a way to escape. Okay, so you can see now I've thought of some verbs that might describe what Alice is doing at the moment. So she's in the hall of doors. Okay, what is Alice going to be doing? Have a little think and see if you can think of some doing words that describe what Alice is doing. Wonderful. So we've had a go at filling in our personality profile. Now we want to kind of start describing what Alice looks like. Now, the way that I've done this is I've given you some prompt questions here on the left-hand side. So on the right-hand side is where you've got some room to write your words and phrases for that part of Alice's body. So I haven't given you quite as many different strips as they have on here. I've just given you her hair, her face, her body, and then her legs and her feet. But I've given you some prompt questions to help you describe what is happening here. So to help you kind of think of what to write in each slot. So for example here, this bit is all about her hair. How might you describe Alice's hair? Okay, and you could maybe talk about the bow that she's wearing in her hair as well. Okay, so for example, I might say golden locks. Could even use some figurative language. I could say like a golden waterfall. Okay, these don't, maybe I should change this to flowing locks like a golden waterfall. Okay, this isn't a sentence. It doesn't make sense. It's just kind of me jotting down my ideas at the moment. Okay, so you don't need to be writing sentences with full stops. You are just writing kind of some notes. In the box a little bit better. Okay, so you can see how I've started to kind of think of words and phrases that I can use to describe her hair. Now, in order to help you do this, I've put on the class story a PDF, and this PDF, hopefully it's going to let me open it. Is it there? Let me just pause my video for a second so I can get it up. Wonderful. So as I said, on Class Dojo, you have this PDF. I'm just going to show you a little bit what is in it that's going to help you. So first, I've just included 2 examples of the body maps. Now, obviously, these aren't Alice, so these might be quite different, but you might want to use these for some ideas and to see kind of how one has been done, just so you don't have to go back in the video as well. You have got some ideas for body language, because what I'm going to talk about in a moment is we're not just going to talk about what we can see, we're also going to talk about kind of what they are showing us with our body. So using that show me, don't tell me. And you've also got some Descriptosaurus pages down here to help you pick out some vocabulary should you need it. So I'm going to have a look at this one here, face, because I know that I'm going to be on my face next. If I'm looking at Alice, and I can see I've got lots of phrases, thinking about which ones are going to fit Alice. Let's have a look. So Alice is quite pale, isn't she? So I could say she was pale like a porcelain doll. Okay, I could say her skin, perfect, like porcelain. I'll spell porcelain. Go back. Porcelain. Okay. See, sometimes adults have to check their spellings as well. Go back to my slides. Porcelain. Okay, so skin perfect like porcelain. Now, I've put on here how could you describe her eyes, mouth, nose, skin? But then I've also put, what is her expression? So what is she showing you, not telling you with her face? So this is where we're kind of up-leveling our character description. Rather than just saying, Alice was very pretty, she had bright blue eyes like diamonds, she had flowing locks like a waterfall. Okay, if we can show, not tell the reader a little bit more about the character, then that's a really good way to describe our character, to give us a little bit more information about what our character is like. So if, for example, we were to say, what is her expression? Maybe if I was to say she was peering curiously through the keyhole, that tells me what she's doing with her eyes, but it's also telling me that Alice wants to know more. She wants to kind of get through the door and enter Wonderland. Okay, so we're not just talking about kind of all the physical appearance features, we're also talking about body language. Okay, so what is she doing with her body? Does she look relaxed? Does she look kind of a bit nervous? Does she look a bit cross maybe because she's stuck inside the hall? Okay, how does she walk as well? Okay, if she was to stomp around the hall, that would be give us quite a different impression about her than if she was to tiptoe around the hall, or to, I don't know, how else could she walk around the hall? Stride around the hall. Okay, so those kind of different use of different verbs really changes our impression of Alice. So your task now then is to use this body map. So like I said, it's on Class Story. Use the Descriptosaurus and the pages that I've put on for the PDF to help you to answer these prompt questions about Alice on this side here. Okay. So remembering to show me as well as tell me. So you're kind of showing me about her expression, showing me about her body language, showing me what she's like with the way that she walks, as well as just telling me she had bright blue eyes, for example. Okay, so your job now then is to complete your Alice body map. Once you've done that, character map. Once you've done that, please take a picture of it so we can see how you've got on. Okay, if you can't print at home for whatever reason, please feel free to draw this. Okay, so it'd be great to see your drawings as well. Okay, and we can't wait to see your fab vocabulary that you've used to describe Alice and her personality. That's everything from me today, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.